Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for March 7th, 2019. With your hosts, Spaceburger2448 and Ramp It Up Salon.
Hi.
We're wrapping up double content.
Yay.
And then we can move on into O's. And then you get to watch a not that good writer movie at some point. Whenever we get to Movie War Core in that. Because Movie War Core is technically the last double story. Well, last standalone double story. Unless you count the manga that's come out recently. That is technically a continuation of the series, but I don't know if it's canon. Well, I say it's the last double story. Technically, both of these movies came out after Core. But it's technically the last story for Double. AKA, it's the last story for Double that just so happens to tell us the first story of Skull. Which is a weird, parallel with Movie War 2010. Because that told us the first story of Double, but also the last story of Skull.
Yeah, that is kind of a odd little parallel there.
Yeah, I don't entirely know if that was planned. All I know is Riku Sanjo, who wrote Double, wrote her portion of Movie War 2010 and Movie War Core, which were both the double portions. I think she wrote both crossover portions. No, Yonomura wrote the War 2010 portion. It was not Riku Sanjo. So then who wrote the Core one? Oh no, Riku Sanjo did write the Core one. Toshiki Inoue wrote O's. Which was his first and last time writing O's, I believe.
Well done.
Which, yeah, you can tell that he neither did his research to write that portion of O's, nor probably cared. Because, oh boy, does it not feel like O's if you come into that straight from the series. But anyway, this week, like I said, we were wrapping up our double content with a look at Kamen Rider Double Returns, Kamen Rider Eternal. AKA, who wanted to see an origin story for Eternal? No one? Well, we're doing it anyway.
Because reasons.
Well, the weird thing is, if they needed a second V Cinema, I don't know what they would have done if not this. Because there's no other writer to cover at that point that has not already been covered.
Yeah.
Because you already gave one to Axel, so that's him taken care of. Skull is covered by 2010 and Core, so unless you wanted to do a in the middle of his tenure as Skull story, that's it. And
Which, I don't think there's... you could, but it might be stretching it.
Yeah. And you have no standout cast member, really, to do anything with? Unless maybe revive Nazca? Or do a writer Nazca as somebody else? But that is not the purpose of the V cinemas really ever. Like now or like yeah, literally ever. That has never been the point of the V cinemas. So I don't know. But this movie came out on July 21st, 2011. For reference, episode 43 of O's was airing. We were nearly outdone with O's by the time this movie came out. And Gokaiger was on its 22nd episode. Both of those were debuting in 3 days from this movie's day release. And it's been 9 months since Double ended. 9 months. Continuity-wise, our kind of like bookending, like not flashback segments, are after Double returns Axel, but everything involving Internal Link Crew is before A to Z. No specific time frame, but I don't think we're ever given a time frame. It's just before A to Z, because this tells us why Eternal Link Crew went after Futo and A to Z.
Yeah, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, we don't have a definitive, like, this many days before.
Not really.
Because, and really even at the end, we have no true discerning factor stating that, like, the end of this tied directly to the beginning of A to Z. There still could have been time between.
Yeah.
Huh. I never really thought about that. I mean, I know it alludes to it kind of just flows together.
Yeah, we get footage from A to Z in the credits.
But at the same time, it's like, that still could be time skip.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we get into it, have you watched, are you caught up on Geo at all? Out of curiosity?
It depends if the recent episode's been subbed.
This past weekend's? I don't think so.
Okay, then
No.
yeah, I am.
Okay. I was about to say, this one? No. Okay, I have to ask, how do you feel about at least the first half of this Hibiki one? Since you get to be the most neutral involving anything related to Hibiki, because you haven't watched Hibiki.
To be fair, I honestly don't know how to take the reference part of it, because here again, the thing the show has the hardest time with explaining.
Yeah.
One of those I've kind of just gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, you're not gonna explain it. Okay. By not even attempting to try to explain anything, I no longer really care about the throwback stuff, because it's like, okay, for those that haven't watched, there's no reference. To be fair, we could have alternate writers and it'd still probably work, because they don't explain anything.
Yeah, like, if you were coming in blind to Hibiki, you probably are like, who the fuck is this asshole, and why is everyone screaming at him and telling him to be punched in the face by somebody? Because that's why I say you're the most neutral to this, because I probably have told you about the staff change for Hibiki, but you haven't experienced the staff change in the show.
Yeah.
So you don't, when you see this asshole say he's Hibiki, want to strangle him and tell him to get the fuck off this show. You don't deserve him to be called Hibiki. You barely deserve to be a writer in your own right, because you're a shithead. Yeah, people don't like Kirya. Todoroki, though, people like him. And, like, is it just me or is another Hibiki, like, jobber this week?
Uh-huh.
Also, why didn't he not get, like, blown up by a Geo2 in Gates Revive rider kicking him?
Because Trinity exists, so they automatically get depowered to base forms.
That just felt weird because they brought
as
up.
Well as I do.
I know, it just felt weird because they brought up the point of, like, we can't beat another Hibiki without Hibiki Ride Watch. And I'm like, okay, so you acknowledge that you need your higher forms now to get rid of him, but you're also going, let's play this out because we don't know what this guy's deal is yet. So that's why we got the Kuga armor for a hot minute. Which still felt like, wow, you did nothing with the Kuga armor. Thanks for your appearance.
I mean, but then later, at least it exists.
Yeah, unlike the rest of the, like, Phase 1 riders besides Decade.
Yeah.
But later on, they're like, well, we know this guy's deal. Let's just fucking, like, let's just end this now and go Geo2 in Gates Revive, and it's not over. And I'm like, why? Why is that watch not blown up right now?
Like I said, it's show convenience to sell toys. That's the only explanation there is for it. Trinity came out, so now Geo2 and Gates Revive? What are those? Base forms, I guess.
I'm also not sure on this, but I don't know if this guy who's another Hibiki isn't supposed to be a stand-in for Asuna, like Hibiki's original disciple from the series, before he decided not to be due to staff change.
Huh.
Because I feel like the timeline lights up to be like, you're supposed to be Hibiki's apprentice, at least either during or after the series, based off the timeline, I think. I think, the kid was 6 years old in the yearbook? I think I caught the 6.
I don't remember.
Because assuming if that's the case, then I think he was 2000. Was it 2000? 2005? Okay, maybe that's after the series? That's still weird. I feel like this person's is not supposed to be Asuna. And I'm like, I don't know if you're trying to insult him or not with this. And a part of me just doesn't care because you're probably not going to respect Hibiki that much anyway. Because Shithead's here, and he's the focus instead of Todoroki, who should be the focus. Which, by the way, did you recognize Todoroki?
I feel like I probably should have.
He's the third mage from Wizard.
Ah.
Yeah, the older one who's married.
Yep.
Yep, that's him.
Huh.
Yeah, this was technically his first role in Rider, I think. Versus his first main role in Rider. He's essentially the tertiary rider of Hibiki. Which tells you, like, how far down the list we are in terms of Hibiki riders, where we have Todoroki and then Shithead. And Shithead gets priority. Fucking course he does. We get slightly better news. The 37th episode of Geo may or may not answer the situation with the original riders getting to show up with the other riders in the present.
Oh boy.
The entire, like, synopsis focuses on Tsukiyomi has noticed this plot hole. and is going to talk to Sogo about it, and we are going to solve the plot hole, and it's going to take an entire episode to do so, I fucking guess. Meanwhile, the episode before that, which is like the second half of Kiva / Ginga, is, I think, focused on Ginga, even though Ginga's in the episode preview for this next week's episode. So, like, I don't know. I guess he's an end of episode reveal.
Probably.
Either case, I don't care. Also, people are speculating that more and more Drive and Kabuto are going to be smushed together into one tribute episode over the course of 2 episodes. Is based off the timeline of episodes, assuming we do not have a break. I believe it's episode, what someone say it was 37? Will be Grand Geo.
Which sounds about right.
Yeah. And that'll be the June 23rd. So between like the Geo plot episode, which is on the 26th, and the 23rd, that's 4 episodes. Most likely means Drive and Kabuto will be squished into one tribute across 2 episodes. And then Decade and Deno will be smushed into 1 episode. Because another decade will probably be the reason we get Grand Geo.
Probably? Question mark?
Well, we don't have another decade. We only, like, what are we missing? Another decade, another Kabuto, and another Drive at this point. It's the only 3 other writers we're missing. And from the looks of it, we're not going to get another Ginga because Ginga is already villain. So why would we make another writer of a writer who's already wanting to kick everybody's ass? Who also doesn't exist in the future? Or at least Gates and Waz have no idea who the fuck he is. So blame Sogo's dreams, I guess, again,
but
for Ginga.
But
yeah, this writer that shows up and kicks all their asses. Oh, he didn't exist in our future.
But
oh,
if he didn't, then that would mean that he existed in the future White Walls was here to try to make.
Uh-huh.
And since White Walls is gone, it has to be assumed that that timeline's gone. So how?
Sogo's dreams. His magic dream making future powers. Remember? The ones that made Kikai real? And also made another Kikai? Those powers.
I get plot convenience is a thing. Like, I get that. There's a fine line between plot convenience and whatever the heck Geo's doing.
What's better is he just is in a meteor and just crash lands on Earth. It's just like, I'm here to kill everyone. That's it.
You know what then? I blame Geo. Not coming from Dream World, because we might as well just call it that. No, I blame the show in its entirety. Because you know what the smartest, which will not happen, but the smartest way they could write that off? He crashed into the Earth because the other villains didn't exist. Make him be the amalgamation of all of them.
I mean, you could do that, or you could just take in the fact that this guy totally sounds like Stark. Would you happen to relate to some shithead named Stark?
Probably.
Are you this proper universe is Stark? Oh, by chance, did you watch the Brain special?
No, not yet.
Okay. It is an amazing bright spot in this garbage that is Geo. Like, between it and Shinobi that's now fully subbed, I'm like, why can't you take lessons from these and be more like these? Because these are enjoyable, even with their faults.
So basically what I just heard you say is, why can't Geo be good?
Yes. Because the funny thing about the Brain one is I think, teases either the Drive arc or a future piece of Drive Media. Because guess who makes a cameo appearance at the end of this special?
Who?
Go. Because you know the thing he was trying to do with some of the pit crew, like back at the end of Drive in his special, where he was trying to get Revive Chase?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still working on that. And they might, as a byproduct, be able to revive Heart, Medic, and Brain in the process.
Huh.
And they may or may not be able to become writers. Which, you know, if you take that, means, oh, look, Medic can become a writer. Somebody get on that. Like, somebody finish off the trifecta, because I need to see this. And what's even weirder is that I think it would be a black form, or a black, like, color scheme, because I don't know. It feels like their color schemes match up with the first three forms of Drive.
Makes sense, yeah.
Also, even those, well, like, kind of fit, not quite. Anyway. Yeah, it's good. I've seen both parts. They even crack a joke about the fact that Brain has the sunglass slasher from Ghost. Which Dark Ghost complains about. And I'm like, alright, shithead, you don't get to complain about anything. You're a recoloring of yourself. Also, that's not even your weapon to start with. I don't think you even had a weapon. So you don't get to complain about recolors. The only bad thing is, it's like, most of the first episode is exposition, I guess, or just setup. And the second episode is mostly a fight scene. But it's a funny fight scene. Because take Brain, take his antics, apply them to a fighting style, and you'll get more than likely what you're going to see in the special. Which is great. Yeah, I don't know where this goes, but I want to see where it goes. I don't care if this teaser dead ends here and we get nothing after this Drive related. Somebody pick up the baton that Toei dropped and take it and run with it. Because I like this idea of reviving the three of them as a byproduct of getting Chase back, and then the three of them trying to like integrate into society and go, well, we got a second chance. Like, we're not gonna kill anyone, so I guess we're helping. And like, give them a threat to go up against. Like, there's really good material here. Somebody just has to take it and run with it. I can't think of anything else to talk about, so shall we get into the movie that both you and I have not watched in like a week?
Yeah, I guess we shall.
Okay, so we kick this off in the middle of a fight scene as Dopont is trying to eat Philip. Specifically, isn't this the Sweets Dopont? I feel like this is a. I think it's a copy of Sweets that is trying to eat Philip, but Double takes care of him. So Riku Sanjo's done for the movie. By the way, that's the writer of the movie. Again, just showing up as a character, getting a little extra on their paycheck, assumingly. But they don't get to celebrate as a psychic lady shows up and is mad that they killed Dido, aka Eternal. I'm just going to refer to him as Eternal because I refer to everyone else by their Dopont name because I don't remember their names.
You're not alone.
I'm like, I don't even remember the lady that like is pretending to be Shroud from the movie, her name. I'm like, you're either Cyclone or Eternal's mom. I don't remember your proper name. Yeah, after she's done giving them headaches, they calm her down. And she decides to tell them the backstory of Eternal and crew and how she met them. Including a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not sure she knows, but I guess harmonica, magic, memory, fuck it, I don't care.
Look, we're dealing with people with some kind of weird power. Sure. We just walk away at that point.
Yeah. She can just read Eternal's life from this fucking harmonica that she has.
Which, I mean, we already know how she knows most of it by the end of the movie, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But it's like the last bit that it's like,
You were dead for that, ma'am. Well, you were not dead, but you didn't know. How'd you know, ma'am? Anyway, we get like essentially the same kind of backstory. I think we get an A to Z of Dido died at a young age. His mom revived him using the Never Project, which essentially turns him into a living corpse. Not a zombie, because he doesn't eat flesh. He just needs a shot of whatever the fuck goo they need to not be dead again.
Yeah, I think they had a name for it, but I can't swear to that.
It's something enzyme. Some type of enzyme, I think.
I think pretty much they only ever refer to it as enzyme.
Yeah. It's a green goo you need to be shot in in a relevant portion of your body in order for it to affect everything. I don't think you even need to hit a vein. Just shoot it in there. You're good. But Foundation X turned down the project in favor of the Gaia memories, and Eternal was like, well, fuck you. We'll prove it by being mercenaries and killing a bunch of people for pay, essentially. I guess that works.
I mean, people are willing to pay you to kill people, then I guess that would be the best way.
Yep. And we get a title. No opening, just the title. So you can tell which one, I guess, got the better focus.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you have more... Well, I say that, but there's a lot of for the opening footage in the opening for Axel. So I would say they don't have enough footage for the Eternal opening, but they could just do the one for Axel, so I don't know. Anyway, we're at a prison where Eternal, Trigger, and Metal again, I'm referring to them by their dopant names, but they are not those respective dopants yet. They are just Eternal, guy with gun, and guy with stick. Metal rod of some sorts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Buff guy with metal rod. But they're there to pick up a new member through stealing her corpse out of the out of the morgue when she is executed for crime. I forgot what her crime was.
I don't remember either.
I think one of them was assault. There was like 3 or 4 crimes she was in prison for. But it's Heat, the girl, it ends up breaking out of prison and is trying to run away, but is shot and killed by the guards before the rest of them show up and are like kill the guards, and they take her body back to base. And then Eternal's mom revives her with the Never stuff, and now she's a part of the team. But Luna doesn't like her because they need a thing for the movie, I guess, even though they never interact in A to Z.
And they kind of don't have much interaction in this movie either.
Honestly, like Eternal and Heat, I think, have the most interaction in both A to Z and this movie.
Yeah.
Which is still weird why they do this thing with Luna. I'm like, Luna, you're not even blown up by any member of the cast of Double. You're blown up by O's. In a, don't worry, Double, I got this moment. Anyway, we get introductions. But we are off to Southeast Asia to fight some terrorists. And we get a very long fight scene showing off every member with their weapons that totally don't line up with what they become as dopants in A to Z.
Yeah. Like
guy with gun.
On.
Yeah. Let's see. Guy with gun becomes Trigger. Guy with whip becomes Luna. Girl that becomes Heat kicks a bunch of people. I don't know. Like, Eternal has a knife. That's why Eternal has a knife in his rider form, I guess. Metal has a stick. That's why he's Metal. Yeah, fighting. But then they find her leader, but he's dead because Psychic Lady killed her. And that's when she meets him, and she beats up the team until Eternal is like the last one standing and is like, oh, you pooped out of gas. And then he almost kills her. But he decides not to because he's a nice person. I don't believe that. But sure, lady. This is you telling the story. Then 2 goons showed up that are dressed like Psychic Lady. By the way, her name's Mina. I'm still going to call her Psychic Lady. They recognize them as Never, but they're orcs? Psychic people that their leader, the Dr. Prospect. Okay. They're here to take Psychic Lady back. And the Never crew are like, fuck you? Because you work for Foundation X? And they decide to, like, take Psychic Lady with them and run? But they get split up, so Eternal, Heat, and Psychic Lady are going one way, while the other 3 are going another way. They're not going to show back up till later in the movie, so don't worry, they're here. They get to hang out on a beach for like 20 plus minutes.
Yeah.
As we, by the way, also get their backstories. We'll get to them. But the first group make it to the beach. But June shows up. Utopia as Eternal Red Flame because that needed to be here. Because he needed a writer for him. Because, you know, he's gotten everything that Foundation X has done with Gaia Memories and or the time of Double done to him, essentially. Because, by the way, he's also a Quark because he has psychic powers. So, just for reference, he's a Quark, he's a Never, because, by the way, he dies in this movie, but they revive him with the Never stuff for the events of Double. He's a Dopant, and he's a writer. The man wears many hats.
Yet none at all.
Yeah. Also, if I remember right, they did release the figure art of this. Like, I am confident that they did, in fact, release Red Flame Eternal.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, they did. With the cape, too, even though this form does not have a cape.
Yeah.
So, like, here's an extra cape for your proper Eternal form. Bear in mind, this was back in the original Eternal figure art, so that was not a cloth cape. That was a plastic cape. The Renewal Eternal, that I think has come out recently, has a cloth. I say cape, but it's more of a cloak. Anyway, he just kicks the ass of everyone involved and is about to kill Eternal, but he doesn't because Psychic Lady says, no, don't kill them. And he's like, fine. But Eternal touches the belt and it shorts out because the memory has now chosen him, I guess. Also, apparently it's a fickle memory. That's a first.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to play into the whole thing with A to Z about the memories finding, like, their, like, intended users?
Probably.
Anyway, we go to the Dr. Prospect's little enclosure village place where Eternal wakes up and he's not very happy about this, as some people just show up and attempt to kill him by giving him a headache because they want food. Well, better food. So he runs into more people who don't like him, but Psychic Lady shows up and is like, guys, let's not kill him. I think, does she show up at this point?
I think she did.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's the only reason that, like, they don't try to kill him again.
Yeah.
And he's just like, guys, you have psychic powers. Fucking go kick his ass. Why am I here? Why do I gotta do this shit for you? Go fucking fight him, you people. And he also asks, like, where's Heat? She's off being tortured at the moment by some doctors because
Reasons.
I don't know. Reasons. She needs to be somewhere for a little bit. Anyway, Dr. Prospect shows up. Putting some clear eye in his eyes because that's his shtick. Because he's the eyes dopant. Is it just me or is this guy a Bond villain?
Yeah.
Like the name, like how he acts, I'm like, you're a fucking Bond villain, man. But yeah, he shows it's like he's got eyes everywhere because he can see through all the people that have psychic powers, I guess, because of the powers of the eyes dopant. Also, when he goes into his dopant form and Eternal tries to fight him, he sees every move and kicks his ass. But that's when Heat arrives with a bike, going, yeah, I broke out and killed those people. Do you want to ride and run so we can run? And he takes that and they run. which we then get a little cutaway to the other group as we get a backstory for the other three people, where Luna was a Yakuza member, I assume, or some criminal that got beat up by his former, like, friends, I guess. Trigger was a cop, SWAT, something along those lines, and died in the line of duty. Also, he had a family. We don't know what happened to those families, so And Metal is an environment activist that died protecting a park or a tree or something. Am I getting those right?
I think you are.
That sounds vaguely what those backstories are, because we're given no context for these backstories, folks. You just have to interpret what you can, because all we get is them dying and Eternal showing up, being like, "I want you on my team of not dead yet people."
Yeah, that's basically what their backstories boil down to.
Yeah. Eternal likes this jackass and wants him on the team. I don't know who he is. I want him, and him, and him, and I want her. I don't know who else I want at this point, but fuck it. So after that's done, and Eternal's mom shows up with the plane so they can fly out to wherever the fuck Eternal and crew are at this moment. But we cut away to a forest where he and Eternal are, as they slowly die again because they don't have their enzyme to not die again. But they also have a little backup that will stave it off for a little while. But it really won't help them fight. Or fight that much. But that's when Psychic Lady shows up saying, "Oh, I found you thanks to your harmonica that you dropped, by the way, Turtle, at some point earlier."
No, I don't think he dropped it. I think he handed that to her.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, he hands it to her later. He drops it here because it drops when he's fighting.
Okay.
He hands it to her later when he does the song to calm them down. And then he's like, "I don't know what the fuck this means to me anymore. Catch, it's yours. Bye. I'm gonna go fight your war now. I'm gonna go save y'all." Anyway, Internal decides, fuck the shit. I'm gonna go fight because I hate this guy. I don't care about y'all really, but I'll still go fight him. So he just gives him her backup or her emergency enzyme shot, and he takes both his and hers so he can fight. And they head out to stop Dr. Prospect. And that's when they run into all the people there. And they're not happy about all this because they were happy and joyful because it was a nice place. Outside of, he's going to do a thing that will apparently kill most of them that aren't that strong to resist being killed. That sounds like a stupid plan.
Yep.
Yes, murdered 90% of the people you've been working to make into psychic soldiers because they're not good. Why not make them better? Anyway, Eternal uses his harmonica in the song that I think plays from the music box in A to Z. To calm him down and get him focused. And then he just tosses Psychic Lady the harmonica. He's like, "I'm done with it now. Goodbye. Gonna go fight your war. Save y'all." So then we get a lot of fighting with a lot of people getting set on fire and being force pushed around and being given headaches because psychic powers. If you can't tell, all these people have different psychic powers, so that's why people just randomly get set on fire and also don't immediately die or start dying from it because it's psychic fire. It doesn't burn the same, I guess.
Question mark.
But at his mansion, Eternal like kicks in the door and is like, "Hi, I'm here, and oh, by the way, here with Utopia." And he just becomes Utopia. So here's your final boss from Double. Watch how long it takes the Eternal to beat him, as he gets the Lost Driver in the Eternal memory, and he becomes proper Eternal with all the like maximum drive slots and everything. So he fights him, and we get interconnected fighting, but we're going to skip past that and get to the fact where Eternal just kills June outright using his memory break, which, you know, disables memories. Or more like freezes him in place instead of disables it, I guess. So that's why he can beat Utopia. Also, since he's dead, he doesn't have a willpower, I guess, so Utopia can't affect him. So I guess that's how we get around like that part. So yeah, Jin's killed, and Eyes is up next, and they fight. Back with Heat and everyone else, the rest of the Never team show up, and they help fight, and they kill a bunch of people, including the two people from the start of the movie. If you're wondering why I didn't mention them, it's because they didn't do shit the whole movie until now. Or I think, doesn't Luna kill the lady?
I can't remember.
I think Luna kills the lady. I don't remember who kills the guy. Doesn't matter. They're probably dead. They're probably dead like everyone else is about to be. But yeah, once they make it outside, oh shit, right, that barrier we mentioned earlier that like stops people from leaving, then kills everybody. Or at least assumingly kills everybody. So this makes Eternal snap. Because by now he's like made it back and like everyone's dead, and he laughs as Eyes laughs, and then he's like, "Fuck you, asshole, you're dead." So then him and the whole team like attack Eyes, and they all kick his ass. Eternal uses his cloak to mask his moves in order to like get hits on Eyes. And Eyes is murdered by a really weird looking rider kick that I still wonder isn't like a salvaged shot, because the wire work went weird, but we kept it anyway. Like, did it look weird to you?
A little bit, yeah.
All right. But after that, Eternal's like, you know what? Fuck Foundation X. Fuck Museum. Let's go burn Futo to the ground to prove a point. So they're off to A to Z. Meanwhile, we find out, oh yeah, Psychic Lady survived, but she lost her memories until recently.
Because
quote unquote recently.
Plot convenience.
Yeah, they just came back to her recently. I guess the events of A to Z started making it all fall back into place. And it took like a year plus for her to finally be like, you know what? Fuck Double. They killed my friends. After she gives this talk, she collapses. They take her to a hospital for her to recover. And then Shotaro and Philip are like, you know what? We hate you, Eternal, but at least you tried to save people. So here's a funeral bouquet for not being a complete asshole like we thought you were. And that's the movie.
I do want to mention something. The big thing that I feel like makes me more so wonder what they were aiming for is the fact that, you know, after Eternal gets the Lost Driver in the memory, his whole attitude changes. So is that a case of that Lost Driver wasn't withholding the corruption? Or was that a case of some of this story was made up?
I have a feeling some of this shit is made the fuck up, or is misinterpreted on her part.
Well, the reason I say that I feel either one could be is because he is a never.
Mm-hmm.
We technically don't know how all that works together with that. So, for plot convenience sake, it could be a case of, yeah, the guy in memory corrupted him. But at the same time, it's like, I thought that's what the drivers were preventing.
Well, the drivers were preventing, the lost driver and Up were designed to prevent the memory corruption. Granted, so were the Dopant drivers, but we saw that wasn't the case. So
that's why I'm like, I'm wondering if maybe because of him being a never, that kind of shifted that.
I would say it's the never, because he even says that he's forgot and doesn't remember what that harmonica means to him. And we know that harmonica was given to him by his mom. So it should hold significance to him. But that's not the case anymore. So I think what it is a combination of...
Well, we do know in that same spot that he talked about the harmonica, he said that over time he has forgotten a lot.
Yeah.
So we know that the Never Project's not perfect. That's why I'm kind of wondering which way that leans towards.
I'm willing to bet it's a corruption because of the Never stuff. Because even Heat feels different from here when we first see her, when she's first into a Never, to later in A to Z.
Yeah.
So that's just my thought. It's the this story feels like a combination of, no, he is that much of an asshole. She is like misinterpreting stuff, and also the stuff that she doesn't directly see, she's not getting the whole story. At least that's
kind of a combination of both.
Yeah. Granted, that's what I assume is supposed to be the case, because I'm like, okay, you all were assholes and wanted to blow up a city to prove a point. You're not, redeemed by these actions, because I don't believe that you did this for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You did this to say, fuck you, Foundation X. This is what you get for not choosing us for whatever you wanted to choose us for to start with. And I know, we know that Eternal is manipulative, because he's manipulative in A to Z. Hard, because he sets up his mom to manipulate Philip into the perfect position for him to use him with the X... Shit. What is it called? X-Picker? No, that's the shield name. No, yeah, it is the X-Picker. Because the name of the shield's the Prison Picker. Yeah, it sets him up to be the control device for the X-Picker. So, I fully believe that he's just pulling her strings this entire movie.
I mean,
anyway, what'd you think?
That.
Yeah. Anyway, what'd you think of this?
I mean, it could have been worse, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was more... They wanted to do something, so they did it, rather than having a decent way to walk into a story for it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know with Eternal, you can't do post-series. That's just flat out.
Nope, he dead. Well,
But-
he's dead this time.
But it's like, I don't know. I feel like the only option you could have would be doing something free A to Z, but at the same time, I also feel like this was kind of a forced thing.
Yeah, like, we're trying to show Eternal as a good guy, but I don't believe a second of it.
Well, I don't even really feel like it. I really don't even feel like their goal was to try to paint him as a good guy. More so to paint him as a neutral.
As more of an anti-hero to start with before he went full bad guy.
Yeah.
I could believe that. I don't know, I wish I knew the intention of this.
Because, like, if you pay attention, his motives for wanting to go and quote unquote save these people isn't to really save them, it's just to fight.
Yeah. Also, he knew about the barrier. Did he just assume the barrier was down or something? Because they flat out told him about the barrier.
I mean, it's little things like that I'm like, I really don't even feel like this movie was meant to paint him as a good guy. Just as, like you said, an anti-hero. Where it's like, he's not a villain yet. But, yeah. He's not really a good guy either.
No, he's not. But I don't know if that's the intention or not. Because I wish I knew the intention of this movie. I'm like, is the intention of this movie meant to go, oh, Eternal was a good person at one point, but this event, like, sent him on the warpath that led him to become a bad guy? Or is this he was always an asshole, here is a story, and if you pay attention hard enough, you see the asshole, like, you see through the disguise and see, oh yeah, he was always an asshole.
Like, to be fair, I feel like if this movie was supposed to paint him as a good guy, then it did a bad job.
Yeah.
Because one event, I don't feel like is enough to completely negate what he did in A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, I would want to see more leading up to that, if that was the case.
Yeah, we should have saw more of his degradation of memory and degradation into, like, start him off not as the Eternal we know, but as, I don't know, something that is somewhere along the lines of a good person, but seeing him over the course of the movie degrade and become the Eternal we know from A to Z would have been far better.
Maybe see... Because I have to think he didn't recruit everyone just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I would have to think it was gradual over time, and it probably would also have fell into his degradation of memory.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe rather than us just get the backstories, perhaps get mini stories leading into each of it.
Yeah.
Like why he ran into them.
Make this more of a...
Even if we just knew why he ran into them, that might actually do something.
Yeah, make this more into an anthology movie than it is a proper movie.
Yeah, and kind of turn it into maybe a building the team kind of concept.
Yeah.
Rather than the whole whatever we got. Because I don't really even know how to really describe it.
Eternal fights a discount Bond villain that really needs to figure out why he needs Clear Eye. every time he shows up on screen.
I feel like, though, it could even be shortened from there and just eternal fights.
That too, yeah. Because I feel like, what, the fight scenes in this are like 50% of the movie?
Yeah.
Because that fight scene with the terrorist goes on a while.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a solid 20 minutes is them fighting those terrorists. And I think Eternal goes back and forth to the same place in order to fight people.
Probably.
Yeah, it's far weaker than Axel, and Axel's only like real downfall is Akiko way overreacting about the whole like being called cheap thing, and Terry kind of being an idiot about the whole situation.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only weak point of Axel. Other than that, like, this is fine, but that just might be the strength of Double's writing that makes this feel fine and not horrible. Because I feel like in anyone else's hands, this probably would have turned out bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've seen a prime example of decent ideas getting turned bad because of the writers.
Yeah. Ugh. But that will bring us to a close on Kamen Rider Double for the moment, until, I don't know, we go back and re-review, like properly review all of Double we didn't do in the new format.
I mean, that's a do we want to kind of deal.
Maybe farther down the line.
Because, I mean, we did technically do it on YouTube.
Yeah. If we do it, it will be a way down the line when we don't have anything else to do.
Very true. Although, will that happen?
Yeah. But we will have one thing of Double to talk about, because next week we're going to keep going through history and take a look at O's. Because I'm trying to think. Between like O's and Forze are like the only two Rider series I don't think we've ever talked about on anything.
I think you're right.
Because we did Wizard for a season of TGSR. And like Game Forward was always a talking point for us on podcasts and stuff. And hell, I did weekly write-ups for episodes from like Game up through, I don't even remember Win of Ghost.
I mean,
it was like,
I guess, and I'm gonna hate myself for saying this, but I guess maybe once we do O's and Fours, I maybe do Ghost, because I think that is the one we least covered.
Yeah.
Mainly because I kind of dropped the show.
And I peripherally kept up with it through the end. Like, the last major thing I remember from that series is like the double Makotos and them fusing in the one for some bullshit. I honestly don't remember.
Yep, I might regret that.
I was about to say, as soon as I bring up the Makoto clone thing, yeah, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck that part. Because I think you were still on for that part.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I think I dropped like sometime close after Grateful.
Okay. Yeah, that was getting into around like sometime after Mugen. I think that was after Mugen, because I got into the whole fucking like Genma Worlds like 15 heroic icon thing Mahujit. I think Genmisers is what they were called. They weren't really well defined. They were just I think they were supposed to be the Genman's World version of the 15 heroic icons. And only like Mugen could destroy them permanently. Kind of.
Maybe.
You know that whole thing about villains sticking around for too goddamn long?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Technically, Ghost started that. Unfortunately. Like, Ghost, I feel like, is more of the originator of, here's your final villain that's around for too many goddamn episodes. As we continue to try to have to beat him because we don't have another villain in between him and our heroes. So here's like 10 episodes of the same fight over and over again.
Each week.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Ghost started that. Really? But yeah, we're gonna pick up with O's. We're gonna be back to a 4-episode a week format until whenever Movie War Core comes into continuity, since we'll be hopping out of the show into movies right around when they would debut and right around where they're supposed to be continuity-wise. Which means I will have to sit down this week and plan that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and plan that from O's through Forza, which, here's the great thing, there's no B cinemas for either one of these series. So we can just hop directly to Forza once we're done with O's. Like, surprising enough, O's got no V cinema, Forza got no V cinema. So whenever we hit the final episodes of Forza and watch, actually the last thing we'll watch of this run through O's and Forza will be Movie Tyson Ultimatum. Because we never covered Ultimatum when we did Wizard.
No, because you didn't want to do that with
because that
having Forza.
Without the context of Forza, because that's the epilogue of Forza.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will start with the beginning of O's and we'll end with Ultimatum. Is essentially the run. Yeah. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
All right, then tomorrow, picking up where we left off on Ace Attorney. Thursday is where we're picking up where we left off on Paper Mario. Friday is
Twilight Princess.
Yes, Twilight Princess.
I about forgot to and I almost said I don't know yet. And then it was like, wait, no, yes I do.
Yep, we'll be starting Twilight Princess. I hope I'm not as grouchy as I was during Ocarina of Time.
At least Friday you won't be. TP takes way too long to start.
Yay! Extended prologue where we don't get to be the hero. Joy. And Saturday.
It's one of those. That has to be the first time that I've got that kind of a complaint, because Wind Waker's slow to start, but I feel like even it starts quicker than Twilight Princess does. And that's saying something.
Yeah, Wind Waker, like, you don't really get going until what? You're out of the fortress?
Yeah.
Like, out of the fortress.
The game still really kind of holds your hand until you get past Tower of the Gods.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could kind of branch away from the intended route, but you still have to follow it pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the main prologue, Forsaken Fortress 1 is kind of that long grind there, and You remember how long that took us.
Yeah.
But Twilight Princess feels, at least to me, it felt like it was a lot slower to start. And that's odd because that's the Legend of Zelda everyone wanted after Ocarina and Majora's Mask, both of which don't take long to get started. So it's one of those, I'm like, okay, that feels weird on all kinds of levels.
Hang on, question. How long does it take us to get to Wolf Link and then have to be stuck in Wolf Link for like how long are we stuck in Wolf Link until we can just get out of that and be back to normal?
Oh. I'm willing to bank on the fact that I could probably say we'll at least get to Wolf Link Friday.
Okay. Alright.
As far as getting out of the first one, probably not.
Okay. I was curious, like, how much of this prologue is just you as Link before you get to, like, be stuck in another prologue tutorial level with Wolf Link and Midna?
Well, let me rephrase that. If we get to Wolf Link, we definitely will not be getting out of it.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's a whole.
I just happened to think about that because you got all of Hyrule Castle and pretty much the first area. Yeah, we're not getting out of Wolf Link.
Yeah. Because I feel like Wolf Link is a whole brand new beginning point of the game.
Yeah.
You now have a new set of tutorials to teach the player in order how to control the goddamn wolf. And now it's like, oh my god, we're starting all over again. Why can't I have fun?
And I'm gonna say this, I really hope that the GameCube version plays similar to how the Wii U version does. Because if so, that won't be bad.
I would hope so.
I don't know.
It's the only version I can play without figuring out how to map motion controls.
Or, buying the game. Like, that's the only two options.
Yeah, that's the cheaper option. That's the free option. I'm taking that free option.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. The bulk of the reason I've got the HD one is because of the amiibo. Not even gonna lie about that. But, yeah.
I mean, I got the Wolf Link amiibo, too. It was not one I wanted, but I ended up getting it anyway. It was a Christmas gift.
I mean, that works.
The weird thing is, I wanted amiibo, and I had a specific list of amiibo I wanted. And I gave that to my mom. And my mom ended up tacking on the Wolf Link one to there, because like, oh, right, you want the Zelda one. That one, too, I guess. And I'm like, well, I guess I have, like, 5 versions of Link now, I guess? Because I have, like, technically Twilight Princess Link twice, because I have the Wolf Link amiibo. I have Toon Link, I have Young Link. I don't think I have another Link, actually. No, I have Breath of the Wild Link. In 2 forms, as well. So that's 6 Links that are on my shelf. Because I have both of the Breath of the Wild Links. Yeah, any plans for Saturday yet?
Not yet. Because I'm not 100% sure on what to do there. Yeah, not yet. Because I'm not 100%. I might know maybe tomorrow? Question mark?
I was about to say, the new season starts this week for Fortnite.
That's what
If
I
you
was
feel-
wondering.
Yeah, if you feel like doing more Fortnite on the Saturday, on the multiplayer Saturdays. I
I'm
believe it
not
starts.
going to rule it out,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to definitively say yes right now.
Yeah, I believe Thursday's the start time, which, by the way, Tilt Towers is fucking a crater.
I have heard.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until I ended up in Tilt Tower for a game this week, and I went, the fuck happened here? It is a crater, basically. There's like
boom.
there's like 3 buildings left. Otherwise, it is a smoldering corpse. So, I guess that's a win for everyone who hated Tilt Towers.
Yay, that's a win. I mean, I more hated it because of everyone else.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Anything
that
else?
might not be good.
What?
My gamepad might be dead. I might be playing the GameCube version with you.
Uh-oh. That's not good. I need to actually check to see if my gamepad still works. I have not turned on my Wii U in a long time. Well, I've turned it on, but I have not used the gamepad. Might want to check that, because I kind of need that if I ever want to go back to S&T Cross Fire Emblem, because I kind of need it for that. But anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Alright. So, check us out. If you like us, give us a follow, so you know when we go live. If you're not already following the Twitter, which also tweets out when we're live, so you can get a double confirmation that we go live. But see you tomorrow, folks.